In terms of your ultimate swimming career goal, have you had one since the very beginning, and has that remained consistent? Have you got one?
Well, when I was a kid growing up, every time I blew out the candles on a birthday cake, I'd wish to go to the Olympics. And I think when I got to go in 2008, I was so excited about it, and I guess that was my ultimate goal, and I'm really happy to have achieved it. And now I just want to improve on where I am. I can't really ask for too much more than that.
Right. And so, the Commonwealth Games next year, it's just, you have been third in the world at the World Champs and fourth at the Olympics, so it's just any better than that is great.
Yeah.
That's a good attitude. Yeah.
Well, I also really don't discuss my goals with people. It's quite a personal thing.
Yeah,
so.
I can imagine. Yeah. Do you think about, the goals you might have internally, do you think about them regularly through your training, or when times get tough, do you sort of pull on them, or do you think about them at all?
I think I'm a very focused person, so they're not something I have to bring to the forefront of my mind. They're always kind of there. I just know what they are. I don't need to remind myself, really.
Sure. If you had to pick three things that have been the biggest contributors to your recent rise, well, you might think it's not a recent rise, but to a lot of people, you're right up there now. You're right there at the cusp of being the best in the world. What would be three? If you could pick three things, it could be something to do with your technique or your stroke or your support. What do you think those three things would be?
Well, I think since I moved back to New Zealand in 2011, I've been improving constantly, and I think part of that is because I've started doing high volume training. Back when I was in California, I was in a sprint orientated program, and I just didn't get many miles done, and it actually takes years for your body to really get the most out of the training you've done, say, a year ago. So I think even now I'm using the benefits that I trained myself for in 2011 and 2012, and hopefully I can continue improving by doing the same kind of training, just maybe a little more intensely, or by choosing a few things to focus on that I can improve.
Sure. And if you could offer any advice up to any up-and-coming swimmers now that want to succeed on the world stage, what would that be, from your experience from the number of years you've been swimming?
Well, it's funny because it's taken me so long to get to where I want to be in the sport of swimming, and I've had a different career than a lot of people do have in the sport, because I went to an American university and I was good when I was 16, 17, but not great, and I always wanted to be where I am now, but I guess I didn't really realize it would take this long. So I think the main thing to remember is that it can happen. It depends whether you really want to spend the time getting there.
Doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.